everybody, I'm Allie, this is Miro, and today's video is going to be how to move from an active seat to a more engaged seat. Alright, the different levels of seat is you're going to have a completely neutral seat where you're not really doing anything, you're just balancing off the center in your core. Alright, your legs can be out. Bareback is more of a neutral seat. Now, when you actually wrap your legs around the horse a little bit and you use your lower leg to control everything, that is an active seat, okay? So, for instance, right now, if I want to move the horse and disengage the hindquarters, I'm going to move to an active seat. I'm also going to move my cues. So, I'm going to get his attention. I'm going to do a little seesaw, and now I'm going to tip his nose to the inside, and button number three, and I just moved his hindquarters. Now I'll go back to get a trot, and notice how I'm holding his head. I'm actually wrapped all the way around his body, and I'm pushing him up into it. Not even really, we're doing this bitless, but now I'm getting into a much more engaged seat. So, it may look like I'm not doing anything, but he threw his head a little bit. I'm going to push him back down into it, so I'm going to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. So I'm squeezing all through my lower leg. And when he rounds up like that, then I'm going to release. So it's squeeze and release. And it's a micro release. Now right there, he didn't want to use that leg a little bit, so I'm going to push him out. Relax. Get him nice and slow. There we go. So I'm going to breathe, let him relax, and that was my steering, my bad. We haven't done this in a while, but we just want to be a nice, easy, slow seat. So I'm going to sit back, and right there, kind of moved off my leg, so I'm just going to keep him kind of in the middle. Whoop. So, we haven't done a whole lot of selection work in a long time, so I'm going to get him circle, circle, work off that outside leg, more of an active seat, active seat, active seat, and now I'm going to ask him to go really slow by sitting really kind of stiff, and as soon as his head and his frame is to where I want it, I'm going to micro release through my body. I know that sounds really, really weird, but I released too much and he got out of frame. So, this is still a work in progress. I'm going to try to get a little bit farther and farther each time. Get him to relax, me to relax. There we go. And whoop. Screw up his head, get his head in, that's for the backup, that's for the backup, and whoa, and release. So every time I'm going to try to go softer and just relax back and forth. It's not always going to be perfect, but that's why we practice. What you do on one side, you do on the other. And remember, we're going to just try to get him to come up and be more engaged with the seat. So the smaller the circle, the more he has to really balance himself. And so as soon as he gives his head where I want it, I'm just going to give a release forward. So pull and release. I'm using basically my ring finger and my little finger. It's just giving those cues on that shanked bit to get that. And as soon as he lightens up and brings up, I'm going to release through my seat. So right there, I need to move his rib cage out. I'm not using spurs. I'm not using a whip. I'm just using my hips. There. I really like that. Oh. And we lost it. But we're going to start, go over and over and over again. And that's what you do. You just practice and practice and practice. Thank you so much for joining us on today's lesson. If you enjoyed the lesson, give us a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Remember to see more, check out our playlist.